Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of Advent of Code 2025. I am again starting a little bit early today. Apologies for yesterday and just recording the OBS window the whole time somehow. Hopefully I fixed it today. You just looking around right now, it kind of seems like it's fixed. If it's not, you will probably never see this, and I will re-record to at least have something. Because I know that yesterday was not great. But yeah, to recap, yesterday's problem, quite simple. Definitely not a super difficult problem. Obviously, we don't have the leaderboard anymore, so it's hard to know exactly how well I did. But first part in 2 minutes, second part in 4 minutes after that. Definitely nothing particularly difficult. I did learn from Reddit that there is kind of a way to visualize your global rank still via the stats page, which kind of makes sense, right? Like when you finish part 1, if you check here and see the number of silver plus number of gold, that gets you the number you'll finish part 1 before you, and then obviously same for part 2. Once you check the number of gold when you finish part 2, that roughly gives you your part 2 rank. Of course, the point of removing the leaderboard was to stop doing stuff like that, so I'm not going to check after each part, but I might check after part 2 to at least get a ballpark. Definitely not trying to sort of recreate any sort of leaderboard. We'll start by just copying the input. Looks like comma separated input. Yeah, ranges are separated by commas. Each range gives first and last ID. You have to find silly patterns. So anything which is the same number repeated twice, it seems like, is a thing. Okay. I mean, these numbers are quite big. But all the ranges are relatively small. Okay, let's just do... Actually, I'm not immediately clear how we're doing this problem, so let's just set up the basics. In low, in high. The ranges are inclusive, right? Yes, inclusive. Okay, so we can do... let's actually do string array dot split. We know it's on commas. Oh, how did I pull that screen up? Must have hit some extra key. Alright, and then once we have that, actually we know in this case it's just one line, so I don't need this while loop anymore. For string L in line, so these are the actual lines, we can do another split. String array parts equals line dot split, and this time we split on the dash. Okay, and let's just do list of ranges equals array list. Ranges dot add new range, and then we'll just do integer dot parse parts 0, which is the start, and parts 1, which is the end. And where did my thing go? Okay. Oops, of course, not just parts 1. We want integer dot parse int of parts 1. Public range tell int h. Very simple. We'll just have nothing complicated for now. Cool. And then we can do answer plus equals. Actually, do we even need this? We just have range r equals new range r dot silly or something like that, and then we can figure out the logic for silly in here. I'm actually going to make it a long. The numbers seem quite large. Actually, you might want to make everything a long now that I think about it. maybe this is unnecessary, but just as a bit of a help. Okay, so now how do we find if a number is silly? Obviously, one thing we can do is just brute force it. The numbers get quite big though. Let's just start with brute force and see if that works. So for int I equals low, I less than equal to high, I plus plus. Now how do we know if a number is silly? It's made only of its set of digits that repeat twice. Okay, so given the length, so let's see, we can do string test equals I plus this, and then int length equals test dot length. Cool. We then know that given the length, we want 10 to the length plus 1, I believe. Yeah, so 2 digits, no way, so divided by 2. Okay, so I guess if length mod 2 equals 1, continue, because there's no point in checking anything. If not, then we do long divisor equals math.pow of 10 to the length over 2 plus 1. We will coerce this to be a long. And then we do I keep doing int, I should be doing long. This is a very slow solution. It's okay. If I divided by divisor equals 0, answer plus plus. We'll see how long this takes. Okay, that was almost instant. I mean, I'll put it in. Oh, if you add up all the invalid IDs, not how many there are. That is very different. So we do plus equals I. Obviously gigantic number. Nice. Okay. There's still invalid ranges. So an ID is invalid is made only of some digits at least twice. Oh, okay. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 1. Okay. So at this point, I think we're actually better off doing string manipulation now instead of long manipulation. But let's just quickly make a silly 2 function. I'll clean up the code later to not look like complete gibberish, but for now I think this is fine. Also, we did learn a nice little piece here, which is that brute force is very feasible on this problem. We don't have to do any math through the range. Okay, so now let's see how we can do this. So for int j equals, the minimum rep unit basically is 1, and obviously the max is length minus 1. We never want length because obviously everything is itself one time, but it says at least twice, right? So we don't need to consider the specific implications there. So if length mod j equals 0, we do something. What do we do? We basically take each rep unit, right? So for int k equals 0, k less than length divided by j, which we're guaranteed to be a whole number, k plus plus. We then, we check against it, right? So Boolean all same, we'll start at true. And we'll actually just record the actual string. So it'd be, what is it? Test dot substring 0 comma j. Right, so that gets the first one, and then obviously we don't. Well, we can start at either. If test dot substring, what is it now? K times j, comma k plus 1 times j dot equals s. So wait, not equals. Then we know this must be not all same. So all same equals false. And then at the end here, if all same, then answer plus equals I, and we break. That is also a very large number. Nice. All right. As I said, I'll briefly check. Okay, so somewhere around top 250-ish. Obviously, as I said, not super precise. I'm not aiming to try to get a global leaderboard or try to reconstruct anything. Don't really see a point in that. Definitely a bit harder of a problem. Nothing too crazy, but you can easily tell that, there's not as many days this time around, given, for day 2, that felt somewhat challenging. Nothing too crazy. There's probably a way to do this exclusively using string manipulation, and very possibly an even faster approach using math, especially for part 1. I'm sure there's some fancy math thing you could do, like maybe instead of I plus plus, you first do the length thing and plus equals that to not have to check through everything. But overall, even the naive brute force solution seemed very fast for this day. So yeah, hopefully I recorded everything correctly this time, and I'll see you tomorrow.